We're now joined with head coach John Brady of Arkansas State. If you have a question for Coach Brady, please press star 1 to get in the queue to ask questions. Again, that's star 1 to get in the queue to ask questions for head coach John Brady of Arkansas State. Coach, before we get to questions, please give me your thoughts on the season so far and your expectations as you head down the stretch of conference play.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say good things about the league. We have a couple of teams that are really playing well and some, a couple other teams that have some wins over some teams in other leagues, particularly Little Rock has really played well. They've established themselves as the best team in the league to this point by what they've accomplished. Texas Arlington has, won games at Ohio State and at Memphis, and Lafayette is starting to play well, which I think is a very talented, well-coached team. So I think our league is really good. I think it's better, and I think to prove that, I think we've had some significant wins over some teams outside of our league or in leagues that perceive to be a little bit better. So, I'd like to say that about the conference. Our own team right here, we started slow, lost a couple of one-point games, a 4-point game, a 3-point game, some games that we had opportunities to win and didn't. And then we came back from Christmas and had some good practices and able to go get 2 on the road. And then we had a 4-game home stretch, and we won 3, and we played really well, probably our best game we played all year at the first half against Little Rock at home. And then we go on the road this past week, and we just don't shoot the ball. We've had games where we don't start the game very well. We were 1 for 18 to start the game against App State. The other night down in Arlington, we couldn't make a basket. We hit our first 2, and then went on like a 12 or 14-point missed drought of misses. And so our team's kind of all over the place. We're better when we start games off, at least holding ourselves on. We've gotten behind. We got behind at Texas State the other night and came back, made a 1-point game. And we're limited in our numbers. We have 9 scholarship players. Well, 8 scholarship players, 1 walk-on for 9. And we had 2 guys get hurt the other night in the game against Texas State. Dante Thomas pulled a hamstring, and Fred Dewar had something happen to his ribs, and they didn't play down the stretch. And I was kind of proud of our team, really, for being limited in numbers and still playing pretty well against a Texas State team that I think is pretty good. So I think our league is better. I think we've got some quality teams in the league. I think outside of a couple of teams, it's very well balanced. I think the race to the conference tournament is going to be interesting down the stretch. Our team has 4 games at home coming up here, and it's imperative that we do something with these 4 games because 6 out of our last 8 will be on the road.
Thank you very much, Coach. As a reminder to our members of the media, please press star 1 at this time to get in the queue to ask questions for head coach John Brady of Arkansas State. Coach, you kind of alluded to it before, but I just wanted to ask you before we get to questions, are you surprised with how the league has shaken out so far in the standings with looking at the preseason poll?
Well, I think there's a lot of basketball to be played. I think certainly Little Rock, as I said before, has established itself as the best team. But, I think Lafayette has, won 3 in a row, a couple on the road, and I think they've got the schedule going to come back their way later on. And so I think they're going to prove to be a very good team also. It seems, Keith's got his team. They had a big win the other night. They just crushed, scored 100 points at home. So they're a good team. They're not very deep, but their first 5 is an experienced group. So I think those teams, Lafayette, Monroe, and Little Rock, and certainly Arlington, what they've done, I think those 4 teams will prove themselves as it goes along. And then I think the rest of us are going to have to play well and see what happens down the stretch on this trip to try to get to New Orleans.
Thank you, Coach. Our first questions come from Troy Schulte with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Troy, please go ahead.
Hey, John. How are you today?
I'm good, Troy.
Cool. Hey, you mentioned Dante and Fred. I was just curious if you had any more of an update on them. Are they going to be able to practice this week? Will you be without them on Thursday, or do you think they'll be ready to go?
Well, I'm not sure. We had 4 games in 8 days.
Yeah.
And we traveled yesterday and got back about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so that really wasn't a great day off. So we took off today, and I had Dante with the doctor this morning at 5:30, and they put a shot in his hamstring, and Fred got treatment this morning at 6 a.m., and he's going to go again this afternoon. So we took the day off just because we needed rest. You know, I don't have the luxury of looking down the bench and changing our team much when I do substitutes. So I've got to make sure I don't lose a game in the practice. So we took off today, and we're going to go Tuesday and Wednesday, and see what we can do in order to get ready for Georgia State on Thursday night. But I'm not sure if they're going to play or not. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, okay. With Fred, you said on the radio the other night that he thought his ribs were broken. Do you know if they are or not? Or
he thought he broke his rib. They're not broken, but he certainly has some pain there, and he's getting treatment in it. And they said it was not broken, but you know, the way he was acting, I thought he got shot. Somebody, a sniper up in the stands, wounded him or something. But he'll fight through it. I would suspect he would play. Dante, I'm not sure, but Dante is extremely important to what we're doing, and he makes a real difference in our team when he's on the floor. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes.
Yeah. In considering your depth, you know, there's not a lot of contingency plans you can have. So I mean, the decisions will probably be easy, but it's obviously not a preferred kind of place to be where you guys are at, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't have anybody. You know, Fred off the bench is good for us. At times, Nam occasionally is pretty good. He's been up and down with his play. And then we come in, we play Josh Pierre. He played 28 minutes the other night, and I love Josh to death, but he's a walk-on, and we just don't change our team much with our bench. So we've got to make sure the guys who are going to play the 34, 35-plus minutes are healthy and ready to go. And that's why we took off today, and I don't think it's going to hurt us at this point of the year with the numbers we have. And